Hi, this is Benjamin Bernstein with AskTheShaman.com. Today's video is about how sometimes in healing you release and sometimes you integrate. My partner Maeikisala and I just finished doing a shamanic healing session for a new client and had an amazing experience unlike any I've had before in my years as a shamanic healer. And it totally illustrates this point that sometimes integration is what needs to happen instead of release. So this woman had never had a shamanic healing before, and I'll add that she has given permission for me to share this story as long as I don't share her name. And she came in, and after we called in our directions and such, she said, I'm being bothered by a being. And this being, my boyfriend committed suicide, my old boyfriend, years ago, and ever since then, his ghost has been haunting her and, messing with her just about every day. And she has no experience or training in shamanism or working in the inner realms, except for one mushroom trip she took a long time ago, and basically didn't know what to do about this. So she found me as a shamanic healer and did the session. So I now do sessions in a very different way than I have in the past. After calling directions, instead of going through a sort of a ritualized process, we just say, okay, what's up, spirit? What needs to happen? So we chatted and got the clarity on this, and was guided, instead of having her lay down on the table, to sit up, because I wanted her in her power. And we called in her embodied awakening, as I often do with shamanic healing clients. And partway through that, when I do healings like this, I'm very empathic, and I could feel what's happening inside the client. And I felt this emotional pain wheeling. I was like, okay, we need to pop over to shamanic healing now. And she called in her own healing, maximum healing that serves highest good, please. And I was able to track, and Maeikisala as well, how, now sad emotions were flooding out of the heart, flushing down her arms, clearing away. So this was the part where the clearing was happening, and that was appropriate. And so that cleared for a while. And then after quite a bit of clearing, then we could feel the light body start to significantly brighten. Okay, now let's try that embodied awakening again. She called that in, and she just blossomed into this magnificent being. And all of us could feel that, most of our awareness was now in this light body, just slightly behind her physical body, with angel wings and the whole thing. And it was just gorgeous. And it was the first time she'd really stepped into her divinity like this. And so that was great. So we got a nice awakened self outside the body. Then we called embodied awakening. And then this beautiful being of light integrated into the body. Again, we had another little healing round. And then finally, full integration. She's got the whole thing going with embodied awakening. And we checked in all of it. Okay, is there no mental chatter, no challenging emotion? Is it peaceful? And is all that true with no effort? All that was there. She was totally there. And then I was guided, okay, so now that we got embodied awakening on, that's the baseline from which good healing work is done most optimally. I said, okay, let's do some testing. So I said, I'd like you to recall a really painful memory, the kind of thing that when you recall it, it always brings up emotional pain. And she did that, and was first surprised at the level of emotional pain she felt from this memory, which was a friend of hers dead on a slab after dying, in a mortuary. She said, oh my God, the pain is so much less than before. And I said, okay, then call in healing, put your attention where the pain is, which was the heart chakra. And within a very quick time, just all the pain drained away. And then she said, okay, I don't feel any more pain anymore. I'm accelerating this radically. This was a 90-minute healing session. And then as a test, okay, let's call the same thing again, same image. And she called it up, and there was absolutely no pain from it. And when you can call the same thing again, there's no pain, then that level's clear in my experience. So we called up a separate challenging incident, did the same process, some emotional pain, clear, check again, no pain. And then I said, okay, now let's get down to why you came here. Let's call forth the entity that's been plaguing you. And for our purposes, there's a synchronicity between the names, so I'm creating false names, but the vibe between the names is similar. Let's call her Georgina. And it turns out her ex-boyfriend who committed suicide is named George. So they have almost the same name. It's just wild. So we called George, and I said, what are you feeling? He said, oh my God, I feel it in me. And I feel cold in the marrow of my bones. And I said, okay. So I said, before we did this, we reinvigorated the embodied awakening, made sure she was just as strong in her awakened self as she could be. And I said, okay, call for the healing, maximum healing that serves highest good, please. Now, calling healing doesn't say whether it's going to be a flush away or an integration. It just says healing. And then I said, just put your attention. By this time, she was good at putting awareness where the discomfort was. And we all felt, oh my God, it's in the marrow of the bones all through the body. And she just put her attention there, and it took a few minutes because this was a really deep, intense thing. But eventually, we all felt that coldness in the marrow of the bones shifting to warmth. And eventually, she said, oh my God, it's fully integrated. And what happened, and we got the sense that George, her boyfriend from before, who had committed suicide and had been plaguing her as an entity, had now fully integrated into her, and she was a much more bright, potent being of energy as a result of this integration than she had been before. And I definitely got the sense that, okay, you two have a really strong soul bond. You might even be twin flames, which is two human manifestations of the same soul. And I said, now you've achieved the integration. Now his work in this lifetime is complete. The integration's there. And I asked her if she had seen the Dark Crystal movie. I know Netflix just launched a new series about that. I can't wait to see it, but I haven't watched the new series. But I said the original movie, there's the mystics and the Skeksis. The Skeksis are these dark, really, evil creatures, and the mystics are these quiet, peaceful creatures. And in the end, these Skeksis and the mystics merge, and they become this even more magnificent being than either of them was. The magnificent beings of light. And I said, that's kind of like what you just did. You went from being Georgina into being not only Georgina plus George, but something even more magnificent beyond that. It was awesome. And she felt wonderful. And so I tell this story partly because it's really fresh on my mind, but again, to illustrate a point that not all people understand about healing. Most people, some people have the idea that whatever is unpleasant, you just flush it away, you get rid of it. Sometimes, yeah, as in her early part of the session, sometimes the darkness is there to be integrated and transformed, just like the end of the Dark Crystal, and just like she brought the remaining essence of George into her field and became something more than she had been, a much more bright, magnificent, conscious creature. So that's what I wanted to share, my story of a wonderful integration that just happened in that healing session. So that's all for this video. Again, I'm Benjamin Bernstein with astroshaman.com. I'd be delighted to serve you as an astrologer or a shamanic healer or a life coach or whatever else I do. You can learn all about it at astroshaman.com if you're interested. Thanks so much for watching.